There is so much beauty in adaptability, in this way of moving through life without clinging so much to the expectations of how things should go or should be, or without clinging so much to this desire to know exactly what will happen and how it will happen. And it's this way of moving through life that it's so much lighter, and it's so much, it makes life so much lighter, and it makes you so much more open-minded to all of the changes and all of the different ways that life could ebb and flow. And it's such a beautiful and it's such a great way to be. It's such a great presence to have when you move through life that way. And I feel that sometimes we tend to be addicted to the chaos in the sense that it's as if we're addicted to being anxious. It's as if we're addicted to always thinking about the next problem that we're gonna need to fix, the next problem that will pop in front of us, the next hurdle or the next battle. And we feel so uncomfortable in the times when we get to relax. We feel so uncomfortable when we feel uncomfortable in peacefulness. That's the word I was looking for. We feel so uncomfortable in peacefulness, but yet we crave peacefulness. We want to find peacefulness. We want to find the time to relax, to be able to breathe, and to feel like there's not 100 problems to fix. But yet when we get to that point, we run away from it because we feel uncomfortable in it, because that's not what we're familiar with. What we're familiar with is finding the next problem to fix, is to hustle, to be in this hustle of finding solutions, finding things to do. And yes, it is such a great reflex to have, to really want to find the next solution and have a plan B, find a plan A, a plan B, C, D, E, etc. But it's always about balance. It's truly about balance. And it's so important because the way that all of that stress and all of that anxiety can affect you is, over time, it can become so big. You know what stress does to your body and what it does to you psychologically. So if you imagine, if every single day you experience that stress and that anxiety, over time it builds up, and it has so many repercussions on yourself. And I think that one way that you can really implement this way of moving through life is by letting yourself be guided by curiosity rather than anxiety. Let yourself be curious about things, curious about how your day could turn out, curious about what is going to happen. And of course, not in the sense of, if you let yourself be guided by curiosity and you think, I wonder what's going to happen. I really don't mean it in the way that I wonder what's going to happen so that I can prepare for it and, I make sure that I'm okay. That is anxiety. But with curiosity, it's really, you're just wondering what's going to happen, really from a place of interest, of being curious. The same way that when you read a book, maybe it's a mystery novel, let's say. You read a mystery novel and you're really hooked on the story, and you turn the pages and you read them, and maybe, I don't know, you're reading and then you need to go to bed, so you put the book down. But you're still kind of thinking about the story, and you're really wondering, I really wonder what's going to happen. And it's not from a place of being anxious and being worried about what's going to happen in the book. No, you're so curious and you're so hooked on the story that you're so interested to know because you're curious. And it's from this place of excitement and of really, I guess, positivity, not from anxiety. And I think in that same way, just get hooked on the story of your life, as if you're reading the book of your life, and you're turning the pages and you're reading the pages. And then when you put the book down to go to sleep, for example, you're not anxious about tomorrow, but you're in that same way, you're thinking, oh, I wonder what's going to happen tomorrow, from a place of curiosity, from a place of being so intrigued and so interested in the story of your life. And I think that it also really comes with a very high level of trust, because very often when we are so anxious about what's going to happen because we want to prepare for it, is that it's because we're so worried about if we're going to be able to deal with whatever's going to happen. But I believe that if you really raise your level of trust within yourself, if you really trust that you will be able to react accordingly to whatever happens, whatever could happen, you know that you're going to be able to take a second, analyze the situation, and then make a decision, see how you can handle the situation the best way that you can. So if you really have this very, very high level of trust within yourself, that you know you'll be able to deal with whatever could happen, then I think that that's when you are able to really fall into this curiosity instead of staying anxious about everything. So I do believe that level of trust is required to adopt this way of living. The beauty in adaptability really resides in the peacefulness that it brings you. And it also resides in the level of ease that it brings you. This level of ease with which you react to things or you perceive things in your life. This level of ease with which you move through life and through your days. And it's a level of ease and peacefulness that you might need to learn how to be comfortable in. And in itself, that's a whole process. And it's a whole process that takes time and effort. But I can guarantee you that it's absolutely worth it. It is really worth it. And if you think about the grand scheme of things, just your life in general, at the end of your life, when you're sitting on your deathbed, like they say, are you gonna be glad that you moved through life with this anxiety and trying to control everything that happens and really trying to make sure that everything happens the way that you planned for it to happen? Or will you be glad that you were able to adapt to the ebbs and flows of life, and that you didn't stress so much about the changes in plans that happened, and you were really able to, at most, stay in a relaxed state and really adapted to the ebbs and flows? Let yourself be inspired and let yourself be wooed by the beauty in adaptability, and let yourself be wooed by this level of peacefulness and ease that it can bring you, that what that lifestyle has to offer to you. And I can guarantee you, it is worth it. It is worth overcoming your fear to get to that space, because once you're in that space, it is such a relief. It is such a relief.